welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. Now, we are moving forward to the second most anticipated movement of the elections, the exit polls that predict the outcome of the voting that has taken place in the last few weeks. Now, Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir voting took place in the last 3 weeks and we are at the cusp of finding out the people's mandate. The results will be declared on 8th of October. There are numerous phonologists who have made their predictions. NewsX is putting out the poll of polls and the exit polls that is a cumulative analysis of the predictions that have been made by various poll agencies. And before that, let's hop across to my colleague Asaveri, who will take us through the numbers that have been the predictions made by the political experts on our shows in the Expertometer segments. Asaveri, over to you.
Thank you so much, Megha. Of course, this is the Expertometer that we held with some of our experts. Let's in fact start off with Gautam Mukherjee. He is a senior journalist and these are the predictions that he has for Haryana. 40 seats for BJP, 30 for Congress and 20 for others. Again, remember, it is a total of there are a total of 90 seats. Halfway mark is 46 and this is what he predicts for Haryana. Let's also take you through some of the prominent candidates this time around, starting with the Chief Minister Naib Singh Saini, who is contesting from Ladwa. According to Gautam Mukherjee's predictions, he will be winning this seat. Bhupinder Singh Hooda from the Garhi Sampla Kiloi, he will be winning this seat as per the predictions that has been made by Gautam Mukherjee. We're going to take you through a couple of more prominent leaders that we have for you who are standing in these elections. Dushyant Chautala, the JJP candidate from Uchchana Kalan. According to Gautam Mukherjee, there's a 50-50 chance as far as his winning or losing is concerned. Remember, he in fact did contest last year around and he did win that seat. Let's also now talk about Vinesh Phogat. Again, she is contesting from Jalana. And in fact, according to Gautam Mukherjee, she may perhaps, there is a 50-50 chance for her as well. So there, again, this is what we have for you as far as Haryana is concerned. Again, another prominent name over here, the former Home Minister of Haryana, Anil Vij, he is contesting from Ambala Cant. Probability is that he may perhaps win. This is what Gautam Mukherjee has in fact predicted. Jammu and Kashmir now, according to him, 45 plus seats will go to the BJP, NC and Congress. 15 to 25 seats is what they're going to clinch and others 20 to 30. This is what he has, Gautam Mukherjee has predicted for Jammu and Kashmir. Let's take you to the prominent leaders over here. Ravinder Raina, the BJP candidate from Nowshera. Probability, according to him, is that he may perhaps win this seat. Let's also take you through a couple of more leaders that we have for you over here. Omar Abdullah, he is now of course contesting from Ganderbali. According to Gautam Mukherjee, he will be clinching this seat. We have more names for you. And another prominent leader over here, Iltija Mufti. She is contesting from Brij Bihara and according to Gautam Mukherjee, she may perhaps lose this seat. So again, we've given you an understanding on Gautam Mukherjee's predictions as far as Haryana, as far as Jammu and Kashmir are in fact concerned. Let's also take you through a couple of more experts that we've spoken to. Himanshu Bhatt over here, he is also a senior journalist and let's also talk about him. According to him, 35 seats will go to the BJP, Congress 35 to 40 and in fact others 8 to 10. This is his prediction for Haryana. Let's also take you through in fact the details that we have for you. According to him, Naib Singh Saini will be willing from the Ladwa seat. Let's take you through more details that we have for you and more prominent leaders and the predictions that our experts have made. According to him, Bhupinder Singh Hooda will be winning from the Garhi Sampla Kiloi seat over there. So again, these are the predictions that we have for you. Let's also talk about Dushyant Chautala, the JJP leader. According to him, there's a 50-50 chance for him. He may perhaps win or he may perhaps lose this seat. Talking about a wrestler and now of course a politician, Vinesh Phogat from Jalana. According to him, she is going to be losing this seat. More in fact names we have for you. Anil Vij, Ambala Cant, he's of course contested from Ambala Cant. According to Himanshu Bhatt, he will be winning this seat. So again, we've taken you through the prominent names from Haryana. We're also going to give you more and more details on that front. Let's quickly shift to the next that we have over here for our viewers. Tanvi Pruthi, she's also again, an expert that we have spoken to. According to her predictions, in Haryana, BJP will clinch 15 to 25 seats and in fact Congress 50 to 60 seats. So we see that large number over there, and others perhaps zero is what she has predicted. Let's take you through the leaders that we have in fact spoken to her about. According to her, again, Jammu and Kashmir we have over here, BJP 20 to 25, NC Congress 30 to 40, Jammu and Kashmir BDP 0 to 5 and others 0. Again, it's a 90 member assembly, and these are her predictions as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. According to her, Ravinder Raina, who has contested from Nowshera, will be winning this seat. We're going to take you through the next candidate that we have for you over here as far as Tanvi Pruthi's expertise is concerned. Omar Abdullah Gandeer Bali, he is going to be winning the seat, is the prediction that she has made this time around. Let's take you through more names and leaders that we have over here for you. But again, until then, this is again what Tanvi Purti has predicted as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Let's also now hop back to Haryana and the predictions that have been made by Sumit Peer, who is a senior political commentator with us. According to him, BJP is going to be clinching 42 to 45 seats, Congress 30 to 35, others nil. So again, these are the predictions that he has made. He thinks that the BJP is going to be doing well in Haryana. Let's also take you through some more details that we have over here for you. Let's now talk about and shift our focus to Jammu and Kashmir, where according to Sumit Peer, 35 plus seats will be backed by BJP, NC Congress 25 plus, JK PDP 10 and others nil. So again, according to him, again, BJP looking good over there with those numbers. Talking about the prominent leaders, Naib Singh Saini, who's contesting from Ladwa, he will be winning is what he has in fact predicted. Let's also take you through Bhupinder Singh Hooda, who's of course contesting from Gari, Sampla, Kiloi. He will also be winning this seat. Also talking about Dushyant Chautala. And let's in fact move across to Haryana. We've spoken to Advocate Chandni Preeti Shah, who's also in fact our expert. BJP 25 to 35, Congress 35 to 45 and others nil is the prediction that she has made for Haryana. So a bigger chunk there perhaps for the Congress is what she is predicting. Let's also take you through some more details that we have for you as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Her predictions, according to her predictions, 25 to 28 seats will be clinched by the BJP, NC Congress 30 to 32, JK PDP 19 to 20 and others nil is the prediction that she has made. So again, NC Congress there, according to her, in a better position. Let's also take you through some more details that we have for you. But until then, viewers, this is the expertometer that we have conducted with our experts. And these are again some of the predictions that they have shared with us.
Okay, thanks, Savri. And let's get in my political spokespersons into the telecast. Remember, there are numbers that are already trickling in terms of the exit polls that have been put out by a number of agencies, election agencies, and if I could just take you through a couple of these agencies that have released the numbers already. And here's a look at Mattis and the seat projection. They have said they've given a clear-cut majority to the Congress. 55 to 62 seats is what that has been allocated by this survey, by this poll agency to the Congress. BJP at a meager 18 to 24 seats is what it is predicted to win this election. INLD between 3 and 6. JJP performing further worse at 3 seats. Others independents between 2 and 5 seats. So that's interesting, which means a clean sweep for the Congress. We had requested the Congress spokesperson to join us on the telecast. They have made a policy decision to not be part of any of the discussions on the exit polls. And now that we've made that clarification on the telecast with me is Jasmine Sandhyawala, spokesperson of the BJP. Jasmine, how do you have to react to this poll survey that has come from Mattis, talking about how it is going to be a clean sweep by the Congress? There is going to be an estimated 55 to 62 seats that are going to be in Congress's kitty.
Well, Megha, I would like to say that I'm not criticizing the exit polls, but going by history and not in the recent past, we did see that how badly and deplorably they went wrong in the parliament elections, and the 8th will be more reflective when the real results come. And whatever the results will be, and we have ruled for a decade in Haryana, anti-incumbency, as the opposition is repeatedly saying, will affect us. I still feel that in the parliament elections just 3 months back, we were able to retain 5 parliament seats out of 9, which is like saying that 50% more. And we are very hopeful that the anti-incumbency factor will not hit us as hard as the exit polls are predicting.
Okay, all right. I'm going to once again repeat the numbers. Haryana, we are going to put them out very, very shortly on our screens. As per the Matisse seat projection, it is Congress 55 and 62. That's the range that has been given. BJP being reduced to an 18 to 24 mark, INLD 3 to 6, JJP at 3, others at 2, and between the range of 2 and 3. Again, taking a look at there is the People's Pulse that has been put out in terms of this projection by a poll agency. This is again Haryana, Congress again between 49 to 61, so very comfortably crossing the halfway mark. BJP between 20 and 32, Aam Aadmi Party 0, others at 3, between 3 and 5 of those seats. If we take a look at all right, so those are the Haryana numbers. There is information pouring in. There is an agency, Dhruv Research, where the agency has put out the numbers for the Congress. Once again, a majority, thumping majority for the Congress between 50 and 64 seats. BJP between 22 and 32 seats. JJP will be a nil, and INLD also 0 seats. So that's interesting for Haryana. Let me put out the numbers quickly for Jammu and Kashmir as well. Now this, as per the Gulistan News seat projection, we have gotten the numbers. National Conference to win between 28 and 30 seats. Congress between 3 and 6 seats, so which means the Congress NC alliance will garner a maximum of 36 seats if this projection comes true. BJP will end up winning an interesting number put out there between 28 and 30 seats. So it is going to improve its tally from the last time around when the elections took place in the valley in 2014, which puts it at the same level as the National Conference. PDP likely to win between 5 and 7 seats, and there are other candidates, independents and new parties that have been floated that will win between 8 and 16 seats. In fact, there are more numbers that have poured in. People's Pulse, which has conducted this poll survey, goes about predicting a win for the Congress and the National Conference in Jammu and Kashmir with a range of between 46 and 50 seats. BJP between 23 and 27, PDP is between 7 and 11, and other parties between 4 and 6. So there you have it. These are the numbers. We'll quickly put out that poll and these numbers that these exit poll agencies are putting out as we speak. Quickly getting in, I also have with me on the telecast, let's get in okay, Varinder Singh, PDP spokesperson. Okay, while we get Varinder Singh, we also have Vandana Sinha, spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party. Vandana, doesn't look like the Aam Aadmi Party will be able to perform when it comes to the Haryana elections as per the poll projections that have been made.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. Yeah, this is just a projection. So we are evident that there are so many past evidences that whenever it comes to the only exit polls, and the credibility of the exit poll is always in question. So saying anything at this stage is very difficult. Maybe tomorrow, you never know, maybe 8th of October you will get some other result. Maybe Aam Aadmi Party will form government in Haryana. So it's very difficult to say anything at this stage, because Arvind Kejriwal may going to complete the entire guarantee whatever he has given for the Haryana election.
Okay,
so
taking a look at these numbers, you think, there was speculation during the campaigning period when the seats were yet to be announced, the candidates were yet to be announced, the seat sharing had to be happened. There was speculation that Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress may fight it together in an alliance. But in view of these projected numbers, where every single poll up until now is giving a sweeping victory to the Congress, Congress perhaps made a calculated decision that it did not need the Aam Aadmi Party to win this election. It could single-handedly be victorious.
See, Aam Aadmi Party has a different voters and Congress has a different voters. Because Aam Aadmi Party, whatever we are saying on the projections. So projections is not the final result. Let the final result come first and then we will talk about it. Because Congress has always have a different voters. What we say, we have different voters and we got a ample of opportunities in Haryana. We got the love of people of Haryana, and tomorrow we may form the government in Haryana itself. And we have, because the people of Haryana voted for free education, a good quality of education, a good health. So we never know. On projections, it's very difficult to say anything as of now.
Okay, let's hear it from Sumit Peer. Sumit, the numbers predict that there is going to be Congress that will sweep the polls in Haryana.
I think, Meghaji, looking at exit polls, we cannot negate exit polls and say they are useless and worthless. It's not the fact of life. They do matter and they do talk us of a trend. I would only wait for when we reach what we call in our media line a poll of polls, when we do an average of all the numbers, and whatever the number comes, 5-10% here and there or 15% here and there, that is what usually the actual number is. So looks like Congress is kind of doing well in Haryana. I mean, we hope that it won't do so. I was giving it around 35 to 40 seats. I was giving BJP a fighting chance, but when we look at the poll of polls and see how exactly it fits. But in J&K, if you look at the J&K, I think BJP has drastically improved. What I'm looking broadly, 35 odd seats, out of 90 is remarkable what you would expect from BJP, because you see there are contradictions between what somebody is giving PDP 28, somebody is giving PDP 6. I think 6 is a more realistic number. 28 nahi aayenge. That is what I can vouch on that. So let the numbers settle and we know what is going to do. But even if a 35 plus what I was giving to BJP and J&K is a formidable thing, and let's say how much do the independents get, how much does the Ghulam Nabi Azad Sahab get, Apni party get. If all of them are put together and are at 10-11 seats, there is a fighting chance for first BJP-led chief minister in J&K. There's a very sound chance. There has been deputy chief minister, not the chief minister. I see a chance there. Haryana right now looks a bit tough. It's a bit uphill, but we'll come to know on 8th. But looks a bit uphill. That will be on the
Okay, all right. Let's now, we've conducted a poll of polls. We've calculated the numbers. There are 3 of these agencies that have predicted the numbers for Haryana elections. A clean sweep for Indian National Congress. Asavri, if you could take us through the numbers, please.
Right, thank you, Megha. Of course, we have the numbers over here as far as the 3 agencies are concerned. As far as Matrix is concerned, they've predicted that the BJP will clinch 18 to 24 seats, the Indian National Congress 55 to 62, INLD 3 to 6, JJP 0 to 3 and others 2 to 5. These are again the numbers that are being predicted for Haryana. Let's also talk about the People's Pulse. According to their predictions, 20 to 32 seats will be bagged by the BJP. Indian National Congress, they're looking very comfortable with 49 to 61 seats, INLD 2 to 3, JJP 0 to 1, others 3 to 5. These are the predictions that the People's Pulse has made. Dhruv Research, BJP 22 to 32, INC of course 50 to 64, again looking rather comfortable over there. INLD 0, JJP 0, others 2 to 8. Poll of polls, let's talk about the calculation over here. BJP clinching 25 seats, INC 57, INLD 2, JJP 1, others 5. So again, the Indian National Congress, they're comfortable, looking comfortable, going way ahead of the halfway mark. Megha, back to you.
Okay, so those are the numbers on your screens. We'll quickly talk about the Jammu and Kashmir figures as well. As the numbers trickle in, there are as many as 5 to 6 of these poll agencies that have already released the numbers. So we'll crunch the numbers for you, give you an average, and can come up with an encompassing view of how the poll agencies have voted in terms of the projections that they have made for the political parties. I'm going to come back to Jasmine Sandhyawala, spokesperson of the BJP. And Jasmine, let's try to understand if 5 seats here and there is something that is like that may be the actual results that are released on 8th of October. We take a look at those figures. 57 for the Indian National Congress. So even if the Congress were to get 5 less seats than 57, it is still going to be a clean sweep.
Well, like I said, that on the 8th we'll really come to know, and if they are making a clean sweep, obviously they will form the government. It's a democracy, and they will, in like All from poll of polls, what the projections are that Congress is going to be doing very well. But I still feel that the BJP will do very well in 6 parliament seats out of the 9. We had won 5 seats, and we are still very, very hopeful that this clean sweep, you see, just 3 months prior, the exit polls had given a clean sweep to the BJP, and we had fallen short of the majority number. So how far these polls are authentic, only time will tell. Yes, they are important. They play a very significant role. I'm not saying that they do not matter. They do set trends. And according to the polls, it seems that the Congress is ahead of the BJP. But on the 8th, we will come to know the reality.
Okay, Jasmine, if we take a look at these numbers and propose that these are the actual figures, hypothetically, would you go back to the drawing board and talk about what may have been the issues that the BJP could not resolve? Was it anti-incumbency, or was it the farmer unrest? What is it that BJP was not able to resolve to get such a performance?
You mean in Haryana or in Jammu Kashmir?
In Haryana.
In Haryana. Well, I would say that that's a very hypothetical question, and it will be very immature of me to answer something which has still to happen and translate into a reality. But in the 10 years that we have ruled, the BJP has ruled, you see, prior to the BJP's rule, Bhupender Hooda, a tall, great leader of the Congress, ruled Haryana for 10 years. And anti-incumbency is not actually really a factor which is just instrumental which affects, you see, the politicians suffer the anti-incumbency more than the bureaucracy. The administration actually rules a state through proxy of the politicians. So I would definitely say that people, this is a new emerging India. It's an aspirational India. And generational changes happen in every 10 years. So we must have failed many times in many situations. But we did try to do our very best where it was concerned, where infrastructure was concerned, where coming down on corruption was concerned. So the reality will be out only on the 8th. And then we can really do a reality check where we went wrong.
Okay, all right. Sumit, coming to you before you respond to what Jasmine had to say, again putting out the numbers, Dainik Bhaskar, which has released its numbers now, gives a conservative win for the Congress between the range of 44 and 54, BJP between 15 and 29, Aam Aadmi Party is given a range of 0 and 1. So that's the single poll that has given Aam Aadmi Party a projected 1 seat win for the Aam Aadmi Party, others between 4 and 9. And like I said, the other 3 have given a thumping majority, a projection for the Congress in the Haryana polls. You wanted to make a point, Sumit?
Megha ji, look, if you look at Haryana, the winning margin between seats is very less. It's not like UP where you win by 70,000, 1 lakh votos se jeette ho. The winning margin is few thousand. I'm telling you, Arvind Kejriwal ji contesting all the seats. Independents and multiple Jat parties are going to spin a surprise. I am not agreeing. Still, I'm stretching my neck out. I still think BJP will be somewhere around 40. It is not going to be BJP's 15, 20 and decimated. It's not going to go that way. We might have surprises. I feel right now it looks like Congress has an edge. Definitely it has an edge, as the numbers say. But it won't be fair to write off BJP at this point of time, because we know Haryana tips and tops to the last round of polling. Usually, if you look at the Haryana elections, only the last round you know who the winner is. That's point number 1. If you look at the J&K, even at 35-40 seats for BJP, it's a phenomenal performance. And if independents, Rashid Engineers, independents are going to cause havoc. Take my word. And when it was Lok Sabha elections, I told you, Megha ji, Rashid Engineer jeet raha hai. Umar is losing. Nobody believed me, but that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
So Rashid independents are allowing go to cause a havoc. There might be a big upside in the valley-based parties. I think in J&K, I'm stretching my neck out and saying BJP has a chance this time around. With some local parties, they will definitely need Altaf Bukhari and Ghulam Nabi Azad.
Okay, but it remains to be seen how do they match ideologically with these regional parties, as has been the accusations being made by the National Conference, and how is it that the BJP has suddenly decided to align themselves with the kind of ideology which there have been former separatists who have formed the governments, there are terrorists erstwhile terrorists who've been brought out of jails, who've been campaigning. Are these the individuals and separatists in the parties that they have floated are going to be the alliance partners for the BJP if these projected numbers are true and the BJP ends up forming the government and not the Congress and the National Conference? Yes, quickly.
Nabi Azad and Altaf Bukhari, not the independents of Abdul Rashid and those Jamaati Islamists. Ghulam Nabi Azad is a fair guy. Bukhari Sahib is a fair guy. There's a possibility of alliance with them. Even if they break 5-10 seats put together, that can be the magic number. Imagine.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Let's get in the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson over here, Vandana Sinha. If the projections are right or close to what the actual figures are going to be when the results come out, you being part of the India Alliance, are you happy that the BJP has performed well? Sorry, the Congress has performed well.
See, this is election. One person has to win, one person has to lose. But my point is, anyhow, we have contested in all 90 seats in Haryana, and we got the love of people of Haryana itself. And our organization is very strong in Haryana as of now. We can say, and as I already said, it's a projection. We cannot say anything as of now. And if the projection is right, even we did well in Haryana, and we contested. Like Punjab and Delhi, maybe Haryana will get tomorrow the same model of governance, Arvind Kejriwal model of governance, and the people of Haryana will love it for sure. And let's see what is going to happen. It's very difficult to say rightly whether Congress is going to form the government, whether BJP is form the government. Or
yeah, but then when you talk about all the 90 seats being fought by the Aam Aadmi Party, and you're not even reflected in any of the polls that have been released. In fact, Aam Aadmi Party is not even in the categories that has been built by these polling agencies. There's the BJP, INC, INLD and JJP. So barring one poll agency that has mentioned you, there's not a single agency that even considers you as a party, as a mentionable on that grid that they have created. All right. Let's hear it from Advocate Preeti Shah. You want to make a comment, Preeti? Yes.
Yes. Let's be hit the reality over here. Aam Aadmi Party contesting in Haryana on all 90 seats is only to cut the seats of Congress. This is the truth. This is the naked truth that I'm telling you, right?
But obviously they've been unsuccessful, and I think they knew in the heart of their hearts that they would not be able to do so.
Exactly, and when the exit polls are showing, a thumping majority to Congress, they are forgetting a very important aspect, that in this elections, the scheduled caste leader Shailaja of Congress has been ignored blatantly by the leaders of Congress.
But how does it matter over here? If once you won the election, how does it matter?
No, but it will impact the vote.
We are talking about the numbers.
Yes, it will impact the vote of Congress, because that vote share can go to the Azad Party that has formed the alliance with JJP. So this vote, this is a Haryana this time is going to be very, very interesting to see. Yes, it is going to be difficult for BJP, but it is not going to be a cakewalk.
Okay, but as per the numbers, it really looks like it's been an easy, very comfortable win for the Congress. It is in fact a cakewalk, that the win that has just been practically handed over by the BJP to the Indian National Conference. Okay, let's come back to Sumit, and let's try to understand, your perspective here, Sumit. So let's speak particularly about Jammu and Kashmir. You spoke about the delimitation. There has been at this point of time a fair demarcation that has been done in terms of the seats in Jammu and in Kashmir. You think that may have had an impact in favor of the BJP if the exit poll projections were to be kept in mind?
Megha ji, let me put it in perspective. There was a historical wrongdoing happening in J&K. It was a fixed match, 15% of the valley controlling 65% of the assembly seats. That is why when you remember in the era of boycotts and bans with 5 and 7% voting from the valley and whole of the Jammu and the Ladakh and everybody voting, there was a chief minister from PDP and J&K. That wrongdoing has been put right. Now with 47 to Kashmir and 43 to Jammu region, and there are also some seats which are reserved for SC, STs and some other communities. It is a kind of a level field, but it should be ideally, it should have been, 90 to 45 hona chahiye tha. Ideally, it is not as that good as that. Then we could have thought of a very fantastic election. But even at this point of time, if you look, Mata Vaishno Devi is a different constituency that voted the highest number of votes. That's with the IC. These are the things which have made the difference. I think it is not, the delimitation was done to get the historical wrongs right, and that is what gives BJP a fighting chance, because the people of Jammu, the people of Katwa, Doda, Bhadrawa, Kishtwar, they were all ignored. It was valley dominated politics. Now that domination of valley, if it was not ending, Congress would have not tied with Umar Abdullah.
Okay.
Umar Abdullah would not be contesting from Badgam and from Ganderbal. What was the need for contesting from two constituencies in his home turf?
Okay, so
That
then,
is
okay,
the
let's,
one.
there are two perspectives to this, because as per the projections in Jammu and Kashmir, the 3 or 4 of these exit polls that have come out, and it speaks about how on an average there is 27 seats that BJP is likely to win in Jammu and Kashmir. There's hardly a difference of 2 seats. 2014, the elections that were held, assembly elections, BJP ended up winning 25. So it's not that much of a difference. So has delimitation really made a difference? Jasmine Sandewala, let's understand from you. BJP going out on a limb, a historical wrong being corrected. There has been abrogation of Article 370, perhaps knowing fully well that this would not resonate perhaps with the locals in Kashmir. BJP still went ahead and brought forth this amendment.
We are very, very hopeful that in the Jammu region we will do exceptionally well. And these projections where they're saying that we'll win 27, we are very confident that we will cross the 30 mark. And also do remember that that means that there is no anti-incumbency against us in this region. We had 125 or 26 in the last assembly elections, and the people in Jammu Valley are genuinely. I was in Araspura for 2 weeks, and there is a certain enthusiasm in the voter. Like the gentleman prior to me speaking said, that the wrong which had happened, that a certain segment of people, a certain small minuscule segment of people was really controlling the entire Jammu and Kashmir politics. So there is a political space for people in Jammu also, and that is going to translate into a huge victory, and I'm very confident that on the 8th the results will be outstanding for us.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at the numbers. Savri, what's the poll of polls, the average of all the exit polls that have come out till now?
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much, Megha. Now, of course, there are projections that are trickling in as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Dainik Bhaskar, BJP 20 to 25, INC, NC 30 to 40, PDP 4 to 7, others 12 to 16. So there you have it. Dainik Bhaskar's predictions are right in front of you. Gulistan News, according to them, BJP will clinch 28 to 30 seats, INC Congress 31 to 36, PDP 5 to 7, and others 8 to 16. Let's now also talk about the People's Pulse. According to them, the BJP will be clinching 23 to 27 seats, NC 46 to 50. So according to them, they will be crossing the halfway mark. PDP 7 to 11 and others 4 to 6. So these are again the predictions that we have for you. We've done the maths over here. BJP 27, INC, NC 41, PDP 7 and others 15. These are again the numbers that are being predicted. Megha, back to you.
Okay, all right. So those are the numbers again. Joining me on the telecast right now, Anuja Kapoor, BJP spokesperson, Shubh Malhotra is Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, and Rimple Sohi is the JJP spokesperson. Anuja, I'm going to start because we were speaking about the Jammu and Kashmir numbers, and understandably, as per the poll of polls, as per the exit poll predictions, there has not been much of a difference in the number of seats that had been won by the BJP in 2014 versus 2024. Is there at this point of time some sort of speculation, some sort of discussion that has to be had within the BJP, that why is it that you've not been able to improve your tally even after abrogation of Article 370 in Kashmir?
Jai Shri Ram and good evening to all of you. For us, the exit poll is just a number. For us, Article 370 and 358 was a very big jump. We always want Article 21, that is right to life, live with dignity, was important. We believe that every common man, whether it is in Jammu, Kashmir or any part of the country, irrespective of the elections of win or lose, what was important, that they were living in fear. We are here in open. They love us, they hate us. We stand with the Jammu and Kashmir people. It is not about what we got before, what we'll get after. We have seen how the children were born there with the stone pelting in their hands and how they were nowhere. We have brought connectivity. We have done what we have to do, irrespective of what the election would bring us. We are not the people who were feared for election. We are here to do our good. We're doing our karma, and that is what we are looking at. We are not the people who will go into politics. We are standing where we stand. Exit polls is just a number. It can be today 2, it can show 10. Maybe after this, we jump up. We are the people who have looked clearly into the heart of the people.
Okay.
Modi ji made Kashmir jewel, the jewel of this country,
Okay.
the crown jewel of the country, and we will be looking into what the exit polls will be talking to us.
Okay,
We
okay,
have
all right,
brought
all
the
right. I mean,
connectivity of
at the end of
Kashmir
the
to
day,
this.
it is about the numbers. At the end of the day, it is about who's going to win Jammu and Kashmir, who's going to win Haryana elections, and that's why the mandate of the people is supreme. That's why the projections are taking place. That's exactly why you and me and the other panelists are here to discuss. All right. Let's again quickly reflect the Haryana numbers, and as per the projections by different exit polls, we have gotten an average. BJP at 25, Indian National Congress at 56, INLD at 2, JJP at 1, and others are at 6. So I'm going to hop across to my spokesperson of the JJP, and Rimple Sohi, according to projections, if these numbers were to be true, what went wrong with the JJP?
So first of all, let me begin by saying that the exit poll numbers were proven wrong last time over as well. 2019, we were nowhere in the exit polls. There was, I believe, one exit poll that was aired about 2 days after the election was over, which gave us some numbers. But before that, we were not really given much numbers because probably our voters are silent. But even if the numbers were to be true, I'll take it, and I respect the public's decision. It is, after all, a democracy, and it is the public who's king here.
Okay.
I believe somewhere we were unable to understand the mood of the public, be it during the farmers' protest, be it later on. Somewhere there was a fault in us. We have been trying, our workers have been trying their best to get through to people in the last 1 month, and I congratulate them on their hard work.
Okay, all right. Let's also get in the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, Shubh Malhotra. Your performance as per the projections made by exit polls are dismal.
Well, I dismiss the exit polls because AAP has a history of defying the exit polls, be it our 2015 Delhi Assembly or the MCD or our performance in Punjab. There is a phrase that goes about in Delhi in Aam Aadmi Party circles that hum exit poll mein nahi aate, hum sarkar mein aate hain. But that being said, this is our first assembly election in Haryana. Results are inside the box, and all of us can extrapolate what's to transpire. But all that I can say is that we gave candidates and a good fight across all seats, and we hope to see a perfect result. So while it's true that it is our key leaders were jailed all through the critical time of campaigning, but we went earnestly to the people with the Kejriwal model of governance. This is the same model which within a span of 10 years has made us a national party, gave us chief ministership with thumping majority.
All right, but you know, let's focus on Haryana, and
Yeah,
the Haryana
absolutely.
elections, and who's going to
I
be
have
the
a-
chief minister, which is the
I have a
political
couple
party
of
that is
points
going
with
to
respect to
win
Haryana.
the election. And also the question, being part of the India Alliance, are you happy that your alliance member Congress seems to have performed so well?
Yeah, no, over time we'll see how the alliances work out. But I think what will be defining in this particular elections is Aam Aadmi Party's model of governance that we have taken to the people. Because we are aware that Delhi and Punjab are the only two states in the country which provide free 24/7 electricity. And Punjab's construct is very much like Haryana, and we are all neighboring states. So everybody knows what's
Okay.
going on the other side.
Okay.
87% of consumers, let me just complete this one point. 87% of consumers in Punjab are already getting free electricity, and this includes farmers, while farmers in Haryana are receiving the worst of it, which is 2 to 3 hours of power supply in the state in a day. So that's how, the farmers, we see a very favorable result. We also see a very favorable result with respect to our understanding of women's travel, and how we have provided them free public travel in Delhi. And we know that there is a lot of influx
Okay, all
from
right.
Haryana.
Fair
people
enough.
who
You're
come and
talking
travel
about
for
the
free
Delhi
and
model, you're
utilize-
talking about Punjab, but here we are about Haryana. So let's keep our focus right there. Alok Mehta on the telecast with me as well. Mr. Mehta, how do you view the numbers? BJP has been decimated by the Indian National Congress if the projections are to be kept in mind.
Megha, you see, exit poll is exit poll. You say this is a very crucial election, and that's why it's a very close contest between BJP and Congress. That's why I think even if 200 votes or 500 votes, remember when CP Joshi in Rajasthan lost by 1 vote, and he was almost becoming a chief minister, and he lost the election himself. So these kind of elections, especially in Haryana, I feel that exit poll, how much it will be exact, but certainly there is after 10 years, so many changes, the party expectation, public expectation, and the caste factor. See the Jat, because what the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi is campaigning for caste votes, for Jat vote, or on the basis of the Dalit votes. These kind of casteism also a factor in Haryana now. Earlier people were talking more on development, still people are expectations. That's why why BJP, if it lose in constituency or major constituencies, it will depend how the local people work. Even for Congress people, I say Bhupen Singh Hooda or his men were also in a good number in the assembly. What they did for the development of those areas, because the local MLAs, they deliver. If roads are bad, or the drinking water, or the electricity, I think the state government is also part of it. But certainly they also have responsibility to support and help the people.
Okay.
So these kind of, in democracy, this is the result will come on earth. But I think the more corruption issue was major issue in election, in last election also. Still people feel that if you want defection or the corruption, then they go for such parties.
You think anti-incumbency was a major part because of which BJP perhaps has lost the election, if we take a look at the numbers?
Other part, which again I am telling you, the local factor, the workers and the party MLAs and the office bearers of the party, they are more responsible, because Manohar Lal, at least no corruption charge against him. This, and he was not listening to any this recommendation type of thing, or you give somebody some job or something else. That was also, that's why he was also shifted. But other part, because they wanted to give party to for a central leadership, they wanted some major position in the central cabinet before this Lok Sabha election. So I think the change was, but even Sushma Swaraj in Delhi, 4 months before she was become chief minister, and they lost. So don't give the blame to chief ministers. I think it depends on the whole team. They should also expect that what they did, what mistakes they did, they have to review themselves.
Okay, all right. Let's also cut across to, I have with me Yuvraj Pokhrana. Yuvraj, let's understand from you what your analysis is of the numbers that have been released. BJP on an average 26 seats, Indian National Congress at 55, INLD at 2, JJP at 2 again, others are at 5. These are the Haryana numbers.
Megha, I'm sorry, what are the numbers for BJP?
BJP is 26, So much lower than the last time around when it ended up winning 40 seats. Congress is at 55.
Yes. Megha, I'm sorry, but I'm unable to lend much currency to exit polls because I have in my sight the very recent election results of 2024 general polls, wherein most or majority of the polls gave a thumping majority of 350 plus to the BJP, and we know where we are today. But one thing for sure, that there is definitely anti-incumbency in the BJP, but this time the catch of the election, the dark horse, will be the involvement of RSS and the RSS cadre in the election process, and the internecine feuds of the Congress is gonna defeat Congress. And if I'm not mistaken, I see a very close shave between BJP and the Congress. And third, the independent candidates are gonna play a very crucial role. Please mark my words, it is not a bipolar contest in Haryana. It is BJP, the Congress and the independent, and RSS is the dark horse in the elections.
Okay. Nikhil, let's hear it from you. Haryana elections, talking about how there may be, was BJP acutely aware perhaps that the performance of the party was not as well as it would have expected to be in wake of the 5 or in fact 10 years that the party has ruled and governed Haryana, and therefore that apprehension was very visible when we saw Manohar Lal Khattar being removed from his position and a new face, Nayab Singh Saini, being brought in for just a few months.
Megha, so far as the results and the outcomes of the Haryana elections are concerned, I think the writing has been on the wall for long over a year. I very distinctly remember that a good friend of mine told me more than a year ago, and she's somebody who is in the Haryana government. He told me that you guys are winning the next year, Congress is winning in next year, and that is something that has been the position all along, for the simple reason that the 10 years of BJP rule has been an absolute era of misgovernance and misrule. So the citizens have not been respected, and now the election has essentially boiled down to Jawan, Pahalwan and Kisan. They could neither respect the farmers, they could not respect the women wrestlers, they could not respect the the youth of the state who are eyeing for a job in the military while bringing in something like the Agniveer. BJP very well knew the kind of anti-incumbency they would have had to face. That is why the last-minute shift happened when Manohar Lal Khattar was removed on the 12th of March, despite the fact that the very same day Prime Minister was praising him and telling that we used to ride on a, reminiscing about the stories that he used to ride together on a bike. And that is also why Manohar Lal Khattar, somebody who was the chief minister of the BJP for over 9.5 years in the state, that person does not even figure on the manifesto that the BJP has launched for the state. Okay. That person does not figure on the hoarding. So BJP very well knew what the results would be.
Okay, let's toss back to Asavri. Asavri, give us the numbers for Jammu and Kashmir and for Haryana.
Right, absolutely, Megha. Let's start by talking about Jammu and Kashmir. We, of course, have read out Dainik Bhaskar, Gulistan News and People's Pulse's numbers and the predictions that they've made. But let's now also take a look at the sea voter. They have predicted that BJP will clinch 27 to 32 seats, INC, NC 40 to 48, PDP 6 to 12, others 6 to 11. We've done the maths over here. The poll of polls as predicted, BJP 28, INC, NC 44, PDP 7 and others 11. These are again the figures that we have as far as the predictions are concerned. Megha, before I toss back to you, let's also take a look at Haryana and the numbers that we have over here for you before we hop across back to my colleague. All right, we have Jammu over here.
Jammu and Kashmir will come back to Haryana, and I'm going to right now get in Alok Mehta again. And sir, when we take a look at the Jammu numbers, we have BJP which is averaged out at 28, Indian National Conference, in Indian National Congress and the National Conference 44, PDP at 7 and the others are at 11. So, the INC and NC alliance has still not been able to get the maximum number of seats to form a government.
Yeah, this is a tragedy of the Congress party, from Sheikh Abdullah to Omar Abdullah. They were, sometimes they become friends, sometimes they again each other, fighting each other. This was a history of the Sheikh Abdullah family. 13 years jail by Nehru, then again Mrs. Gandhi also jailed in 74, released in 77. Sheikh Abdullah again joined with the Janata Party, and then when Mrs. Gandhi came, then again so this different kind of combination was there. So the background and the corruption charges of the Abdullah family, and the Congress Party, they used to say Kashmiri Pandit. Have you heard it? Because now the reservation and the caste factor, all the time Rahul Gandhi talking about this. So anybody can imagine what you did in Jammu with Kashmiri Pandits. He was not talking about the Kashmiri Pandit, he was also talking more about the other things. So these kind of problem with the Congress Party and the National Conference, the Farooq Abdullah, 106 crores of scandal in the, only the cricket, and the 45 crores already ED and CBI already got the documents. So these kind of corruption is rule. So people were fed up, and that's why the local panchayat, local bodies elections in last 5-6 years, it also helped the BJP or the even other parties. So people want local, just what I was talking about the Haryana, same thing with the Jammu and Kashmir. People want, even for Jammu also, if not satisfied with the BJP, they are not going to vote. Maybe independent or Ghulam Nabi Azad or somebody else. That's why the engineer in Kashmir Valley, he went from contest from jail, and even that's why his party is also getting some seats. So these kind of National Conference and Congress Party, the credibility, old memories, they affecting their this chances.
Okay, but okay, let's try to dissect this, because BJP 28, which perhaps has, if you take a look at whether it was delimitation of abrogation or abrogation of Article 370, it has perhaps not made much of a difference on how the people have come out and voted for BJP. Meanwhile, Congress and the National Conference 44, and their vote, has it been eaten away by the independents and the regional parties that have just recently been floated? Yes, that could be the case. Yuvraj, how would you like to break the numbers?
Yes, Megha, first of all, what this PM Modi-led government has done for J&K is unprecedented. Over 2.1 crore tourists have flocked J&K. I mean, J&K is hosting G20, Miss Universe event, F20 Formula event. So J&K is now a very safe area. But as you said, BJP knows it quite well that they are not going to make it to the magic number. So they have very craftfully, they very deftly managed to prop up independent candidates and these novice parties. And this is how they're going to cut the vote share. And what I feel is,
by the point is, BJP does not, as per the numbers, BJP has not really cut the votes of the National Conference and the Congress. It seems to be it is the other parties that have taken away the votes.
Megha, but again, we are premising on this exit poll, but reality to me is something else. And yes, BJP has given the charge of J&K to none less than Ram Madhavji, whose political equations are very well known to people like you and me. And the reason for fielding him, I feel, is he is going to be a master stroke. He's going to be a master stroke in stitching an post-poll alliance. And BJP may be a dark horse in the politics of J&K, and there are chances that they will form some alliance, something or the other. And last 10 seconds, for any regional party seeks patronage from the union government, and who better than Ram Madhav to form that alliance?
Okay, all right. Asavri, let's quickly take a look at the Haryana numbers.
Right, absolutely. Megha, let's take a look at Haryana. 5 agencies have already put out their predictions. Let's start with Meetries over here. BJP 18 to 24, INC 55 to 62, INLD 3 to 6 is the prediction, JJP 0 to 3 and others 2 to 5. Taking a look at People's Pulse and their prediction. For BJP, they're saying 20 to 32, INC 49 to 61, INLD 2 to 3, JJP 0 to 1, others 3 to 5. Taking a look at Dhruv Research and the predictions that they've put out. BJP at 22 to 32 seats is what they're predicting. INC 50 to 64, INLD 0, JJP 0, others 2 to 8. Taking a look at Dainik Bhaskar over here, BJP 15 to 29, INC 44 to 54, INLD 0, JJP 0, others 4 to 10. Now taking a look at PMARQ, they in fact, according to them, BJP will be clinching 27 to 35 seats, INC 51 to 61, INLD 3 to 6, JJP 0, others 0. Based on these predictions, the Indian National Congress is perhaps going to be making, and in fact going through the halfway mark is the prediction that's being made. Talking about the poll of polls, 26 for BJP, INC 55, INLD 2, JJP 2 and others 5. These are the predictions that are being made. Megha, back to you.
Okay, all right. Thank you for giving us those numbers. On your screens are those very strong, decisive numbers that have been put out by all these poll agencies, barring none, that have given a majority, and a thumping one at that, to the Congress in Haryana. Nikhil, let's hear it from you about the Haryana numbers. You've given us your perspective. What are the issues on the basis of which BJP could not perform and therefore perhaps has lost the election to the Congress in the projections that have now been put out? But do you think anti-incumbency was perhaps also one of the big issues? Because when we went to the people and they spoke about they don't have clean water, the infrastructure is poor, roads are broken, they're talking about unemployment, they're talking about drugs that get infiltrated into the border, and youth development and welfare of their particular constituencies are the issues that they are more focused about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a combination of the three factors. One is the misrule. Of course, there is anti-incumbency, but that anti-incumbency is more than what one would have expected in a regular state, for the simple reason that the government in Haryana completely lost touch with the people. The portal thing that is not really, very often talked about on national news channels, but is all the rage on the regional news channels in Haryana, that the government expected every person to register their properties on a portal that is managed by a private company, and when there is some issue, you have to go and stand in lines and, to have your own property be listed there. And otherwise, there are penal actions. Now, that is the kind of losing touch with the people of the state that a government with its ground to the ears would not have had faced. That is something that has exasperated the anti-incumbency in the state. And that is, that's also resulting in poor governance. Not only do the people feel that they've been neglected by their public representatives, but also poor governance. Because when you don't understand how your policies are going to play out on the ground, obviously, the implementation would be lackluster or problematic, to say the least.
Okay, all right. On that note, let's take a quick break. Panelists, just stay with me. We'll bring out all the numbers, the poll of polls. We bring out the average of all the exit polls that have now been released with their projections, and it looks like a clean sweep for the Congress in Haryana. It looks like there is going to be a neck and neck fight between the BJP and the Congress NC alliance, but both the Congress and the NC having come together to forge a pre-poll alliance might just be able to form the government in Jammu and Kashmir. Stay tuned on NewsX.